I have always loved walking at night. There's something magical about the stillness that wraps around me like a warm blanket. The moonlight dances on the fields, and the stars twinkle like tiny diamonds in the sky. I live alone on a big farm, a place filled with memories of laughter and love. My husband John passed away a few years ago, and now it's just me and my cat Bella. The house feels too big for just one person, but I can't bring myself to leave. It holds the echoes of our life together. One evening, after a long day of tending to the crops and fixing fences, I decided to take my usual walk. The air was cool and crisp, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves. Bella trotted beside me, her soft purring a comforting presence. As I walked the familiar path, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. But as I approached the house, something caught my eye, a flicker in the second-story window. It was the bedroom that John and I used to share. For a brief moment, I thought I saw a shadow move. I stopped, my heart pounding in my chest. No one should be in there. I hadn't stepped foot in that room since John died. The thought of an intruder made my blood run cold. Anger and fear surged through me. I rushed inside, my heart racing, and ran upstairs. The room was empty, just as I had left it, dusty and untouched. I looked everywhere, but found nothing. I felt foolish standing there in the silence, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. Bella curled up next to me, sensing my unease. The shadows in the room seemed to grow darker, and every creak of the old house made me jump. I tried to convince myself it was just my imagination, but deep down I knew something was off. The next night, I woke up to Bella growling softly. Her fur bristled, and I could feel the tension in the air. I listened carefully, and then I heard it, a creaking sound coming from upstairs. My heart sank. It could have been the old house settling, but my mind raced to the worst possible scenario. I knew which room it was. I debated grabbing my old baseball bat from the closet, but I didn't want to overreact. Instead, I took a deep breath, grabbed my flashlight, and made my way upstairs. The beam of light cut through the darkness, illuminating the hallway. I reached the door to the bedroom and hesitated for a moment. What if there really was someone in there? I opened the door slowly, my heart pounding. The room was just as I left it, silent and still. But the feeling of unease lingered. I stood there for a moment, trying to calm my racing heart. Maybe I was just being paranoid. I turned to leave when I noticed something on the floor. A piece of fabric caught my eye. It was a small scrap of John's old shirt, the one he used to wear when he worked in the fields. I had packed away all his clothes after he died. How could this be here? Panic set in. I rushed downstairs, my mind racing. I needed to call the police. I dialed the number, my hands shaking. When they arrived, they searched the house from top to bottom but found nothing. They were polite, but didn't seem to take me seriously. I felt embarrassed and alone, like I was losing my grip on reality. The following night was the worst. I couldn't sleep, so I decided to check the bedroom again. As I opened the door, I froze. Clothes were scattered all over the floor, John's clothes. I had packed them away, and now they were everywhere. My heart raced as I realized I wasn't alone. And then I saw her, a woman standing in the doorway, staring at me. I couldn't see her face clearly, but I knew she didn't belong there. Fear gripped me, and without thinking, I ran at her. She turned and bolted down the stairs and out the front door. I chased after her, my heart pounding in my chest. By the time I got outside, she was gone. I searched the property with Bella, but there was no trace of her. I didn't sleep that night, my mind racing with questions. Who was she? Why was she in my house? For months after that, I lived in a state of constant anxiety. Every little noise set me off. I slept with the baseball bat next to my bed, terrified that I would have to use it. I debated calling my sister to come stay with me, but I didn't want to admit I was scared. I was raised to be strong and handle my own problems. One night, I was sitting in the living room, trying to distract myself with a book, but the words blurred together as I felt a chill run down my spine. I glanced out the window and saw a figure standing in the yard, looking straight at me. My heart stopped. It was her again. I grabbed my bat and ran outside, Bella close behind. She was still there, just a shadow in the moonlight, watching me. I raised the bat, my hands trembling. "Get away from here," I shouted, my voice shaking. I swung the bat, hoping to scare her off. She turned and ran into the darkness, but my heart raced with fear. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, waiting to see if she would come back. But she never did. I haven't seen her since, but I know it's only a matter of time. The fear lingers, a constant shadow in my mind. I'm ready to protect myself, but living in this state of anxiety is exhausting. Thank goodness for Bella. She's my only comfort in this nightmare. I don't know what I would do without her. I'll keep you updated if anything happens, but for now, I just want to feel safe in my own home again.